Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Give us just a few more minutes to have everybody join. I'm working on getting all the DMC folks added as organizers, so give me 1 second. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I know that it's Saturday morning for most of the folks on the call. So thanks so much for coming. Welcome to our 2021 annual meeting. If you have any questions, there should be a little chat box. We'll open it up for questions at the very end. So go ahead and use that chat box if you have any questions. So we're going to do so we'll have a meeting and then we'll have a fun game with some prizes at the very end. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. So we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so the outline, we'll go over the purpose. I'll have a quick update, go through the org chart, and then do a few reviews. So the purpose of the annual meeting, it's an opportunity to showcase all the work that we've been doing this year, give you folks as members an opportunity to interact with us, see where your membership money is going, specifically talking about what did we do this year, what are we looking at next year, and then looking at the financial performance. So this is being recorded. So this and the slides will be available on my ASQ later on this week. So chair update. So this is my last official annual meeting as chair. When we took this picture back in February 2020, I didn't know that this would be my first and last group picture as chair of the division. It's been a wild ride as this past year has been, right? But I've really appreciated working with all of you on the leadership team, but then also everyone on the call and who will be listening to this later as our members. This has been a challenging year from personally and professionally, right, with working from home. But I think we've really come together. We've had a very strong year, had a lot of great e-zines, webinars, and then now also these virtual networking events. So I had to say, kind of one of the good things that came out of the pandemic, right, was the ability to interact and do more virtual interactions with everyone. And I've learned a lot as chair, and I've really appreciated all of the support and guidance I've gotten from the leadership team. So I just really wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. I really very much appreciate it. But I'm not going very far. So Nick, who couldn't be with us today, he will be taking over as chair at the beginning of the year, and I'm really excited to look and see how he will be managing the division moving forward, right? But I'll still be around. So if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about the division, don't feel free to reach out. My email is listed in the slide. So just wanted to say thank you. So then going into upcoming conferences. So we do have 2 conferences coming up. So the Lean and Six Sigma conference, this will be the ASQ's first in-person event in 2022, held in Phoenix, Arizona, as it typically is. And the dates are here. And then there's also the World Conference on Quality and Improvement, which is actually going to be a hybrid event, which I think is going to be really exciting. I'm really interested to see, especially how we can interact with our members during the hybrid event. I think it's making it a little bit easier for everyone, not just the folks who are local, right? It's going to be really interesting seeing how the conferences kind of begin to evolve as we get more and more experience in a virtual environment and then moving into hybrid. So with that, here's our org chart moving into next year. So there's still a couple of pieces being finalized. So we'll still have the standard value streams, publishing value stream, professional development, and networking. And then with the support processes being communications and then the standard support process. So, and then proud to have Lisette coming on as chair-elect. So she was our secretary this year, or the last couple years actually, and now she's going to be our chair-elect, and Patrick Harrell will be coming on as secretary. So very, very excited to see you know, what you know, we as the OOC will continue doing, but also still working with, you know, some old faces, right? So, and with that, we'll go into the update. So Ekaterina couldn't be with us today. It's actually her son's birthday, so I totally get her wanting to spend it with him, right? So I'll go ahead and go into the update for publications chair. So we have 3 e-zines that have been published so far, with 1 scheduled to be published in December, 9 articles, and then here's kind of some of the stats with the downloads from my ASQ and the eBlast clicks. So a lot of great engagement. Again, this is all on my ASQ, so if you have any questions or want to take a look at some of these e-zines, all of those and then the past years are all on my ASQ. And webinars, this was actually a very strong year for webinars. So we've had 16 total this year. I think, and team, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the most number of webinars that we've had ever. So a lot of great activities, and all of these are actually uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So if you folks don't have access to that, or if you guys don't have that link, please let us know. I'll make sure it gets posted on our MyASQ page. Lots of great webinars from years past are on there as well. Really, it's a great resource. And with that, I will pass it over to April.
Good morning. Can you click to the next slide for me, Lindsay? All right, so welcome everybody. So for networking in 2021, when we did the Lean Six Sigma conference that was held at the end of February, beginning of March, we had our very first ever virtual tour with Cambridge Air Solutions. That was well received. We got great feedback from that. In May, we at WCQI, which was a virtual conference, we did a Kahoot trivia event similar to what you'll have an opportunity to participate in after we're done presenting the information about LED. And then in September, we did a virtual tour with Menlo Innovations that was joint with the software division. And so looking forward to opportunities to be able to create networking events for you in 2022. If you have any ideas for events, please feel free to contact us and outreach us to let us know what kind of events you're interested in seeing as members, so that we can work to help create and support that for you. And
yep,
that is what I have for, oh, thank you. Networking 2022.
No, it's okay. I added this in this morning, sorry.
Again, working to continue to support the ASQ conferences, as well as the USD Supply Chain Excellence Summit. We would like to have one global networking event that we're working on planning to be able to connect members. And as I was saying, if you have interest, we'd love to be able to continue to have virtual networking events. You just need to let us know, and Lindsay has placed her email there for you to contact and outreach her with ideas that you have.
Perfect, thank you, April. So going into professional development, Frank.
Thank you, Lindsay. Could you take the next slide? We started this year with really a question, and this has to do with Quality 4.0. And from the Lean perspective, what does Lean 4.0 mean? And we came up with just a starting definition. It's not anything that has been totally socialized. In fact, we're looking for more feedback on it. But The application of lean principles and methods adapted to the environment created by Industry 4.0, the Internet of Things, as well as the development of new principles and methods because of this new and rapidly changing environment. I know all of us have been experiencing it in a lot of different forms, a lot of different contexts, whether you're talking about healthcare or academic applications, distribution, retail, all of this, of course, each of these contexts, lean is applied in a little different way. So what we're trying to do is encourage thought leadership within the division with regard to this. So any ideas, any things, any applications that you have, we would love to share it with the rest of the division. And again, you can contact Ekaterina or any of us to figure out how we want to capture those stories. So one of the, go on to the next slide, please. One of the other things that Jim Nelson and I have been struggling with, and I'll be honest with you, this has been a year of struggle for everybody, including us, is the Lean Enterprise Division body of knowledge. And we developed this context about a year ago, or this model rather, about a year ago, and it's based on the Shingo model as well as the Malcolm Baldrige model. Is kind of a integration of the two, but it's intended to sort of categorize the various aspects or facets of lean in a system, an enterprise system, and use this as a way of cataloging and enabling all of the resources that we have in the Lean Enterprise Division in a way that's accessible. And we're working with ASQ headquarters on the technology front. There's a lot of technology that's coming that's going to help enable us to better categorize and make more accessible the knowledge-based resources that we have. So we're looking forward to that as we continue to work with ASQ headquarters and their technology team. Could you go to the next slide, please? So looking forward into 2022, we really want to support the conferences like Lindsay mentioned. I also want to point out that we've got a Women in Quality conference coming up next month. So for those of you who are interested, please check that out. But looking forward into 2022, we want to sponsor speakers in the various quality conferences. Now it's the Lean and Six Sigma conference and the World Conference that Lindsay mentioned. Those speakers are already set, but going forward, we want to, as a division, encourage and sponsor speakers for like the Quality 4.0 conference and the Women in Quality conferences coming up. And we're still figuring out whether those are going to be hybrid or in person. I think there's probably moving toward a hybrid, so it opens up the capability for our members to share their experiences, share their expertise. And so want to encourage you, if you're interested in developing presentations, to contact us. We've got a lot of different ways that we can engage you and share your knowledge and expertise with the rest of our division membership.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank. So then moving on to Dave Harry, our communications chair.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dave Harry. I'm normally in Greenville, Tennessee, but I'd like to report out on the communications chair and the communications support update. Do people hear an echo when I'm speaking?
I don't.
No, you sound clear,
Okay,
Dave.
good. We've got 3 really qualified members on our communication support team. We've got Leanne Schildmeyer, she's in Phoenix, Arizona, and she's been the social media chair, and we've done really well with Leanne in that aspect. Luigi Sali, so Luigi is down in Curacao in the Caribbean, just north of Venezuela, and he's very, very active in the quality management division. He's been active on our publication side, and he's just recently joined the social media and has a hand in marketing. And then we've got Patrick Harrell down in Jacksonville, Florida. And Patrick is our voice of the customer chair. He also handles membership, and he's recently been selected and elected as the secretary of this ASQ Lean Enterprise Division. So we've got 3 very, very talented people working with me to bring about good communications with our members through my ASQ and with our LinkedIn group and with Twitter. So next slide, please, Lindsay. Our membership this year, as you know, all of ASQ has shrunk a little bit during the COVID years, so it's not as robust as it could be, but we have held our own. So we now have 10,778 members, and that's as of the end of last month. Year-over-year growth, we lost 827. But there was only one division within ASQ that actually had a plus of members, and I think they gained 71 members. And I think that was I think it was the standards group or division. We have done very, very well in not losing members when a lot of members were lost for the entire society. Our membership versus the other divisions, we are the 4th largest division within ASQ. A quality management division has traditionally been number 1, and we were number 4 last year, and we've held our own at number 4. So I'll give you a quick breakdown of our membership, and this is as of the end of October, just last month. We have 1,639 senior members. These members are members who have been in the society for at least 1 year, and they apply for senior membership. So if you've been with ASQ for at least 1 year, look into applying for a senior membership. What it does is it gains you additional section membership and additional division membership and maybe additional publication. You have some choices, but there's no additional cost, and it actually puts you 1 step above the full membership. Full members, we have 7,739 full members. So you're either senior, full, or a student, or one of the other categories. So that's our predominant number of members, and these are members that are generally professional members. They're not students, and they haven't actually selected senior membership, so they haven't been in the society for more than a year or chosen to become a senior member. We have 1,170 student members. Again, that's the 3rd most student members of all the divisions. So we're holding our own. We lost a little bit last year, but we're holding our own. And as you can guess, as the society and COVID has taken effect and we've lost a lot of the in-person events, some of the membership has slipped, but we've held our own, and we want to grow that number of student members. So if you know some students, please encourage them to join. Please encourage them to come to our events. I know that there's some special pricing for our student members that want to attend the ASQ Phoenix event in February. So there's some really good news for student members who want to join ASQ. Year over year, members in the past year, we've gotten 5,633 new members in the past year. Those are people that were not members last year at this time. There's both good news and bad news in that. because, you know, that may show a lot of membership churn. If we haven't grown by 5,000, that means that we lost some members in order to gain some new members. So having some kind of stability on new members is good if there's not a lot of growth. If there's a lot of growth, then that's a great number. Our organizational members is 142. That's pretty much standard for most of the ASQ divisions. We've remained steady at 80 ASQ fellows. So we seem to be drawn, the Lean Enterprise Division seems to be drawn to the very, very senior select group of ASQ fellows. So these are people that can offer mentorship, guidance, who have been around the industry for a long time and can offer special value to our newest members. So looking at the membership as a whole, I've drawn some conclusions. The LAD membership is healthy and stable relative to ASQ and the other divisions. It may not be healthy and stable, you know, as far as industry is concerned, but in view of the COVID and the other reductions that the society has experienced, we are doing better or holding our own, and we're as good as other divisions. We need to grow the student and organizational members. I think that's one of the goals of ASQ. So if you can help recruit a student, or you know a student, or you've got student status, take a look at your student membership possibilities, or recruit an organizational member if at all possible. And as far as I can tell, manufacturing is still the largest organizational sector that the Lean Enterprise Division is enjoying. Next slide, please, Liz. So one of the outreach efforts of the communications support chair is to reach out through various media. So it's no longer that we only have a booth at the conferences. We reach out through digital media. And so we've got three main ways to do that. Over the last year, we've dropped our web page and we've embodied the ASQ, My ASQ Lean Enterprise Division community. And as you might guess, not everybody that's in ASQ is also a member of My ASQ Lean Enterprise Division or community, or the My ASQ community. So there's about, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 members that we end up enjoying within the My ASQ Lean Enterprise Division community. There is about 10,000 or 11,000 members of the 45,000 members of ASQ have chosen to have a My ASQ membership in the My ASQ community, and we've got about 1/3 of those. So for every 3 members of the My ASQ community in ASQ, we have 1 of them. So we have 3,925 members, and that has grown quite a bit over the past year due to a lot of marketing efforts and emphasis that we've placed on it. We're up 51% over a year ago. So we've just about, almost, I think we had very good numbers last year, and we seem to be very, very active. And I thank all of our members who actively contribute to the discussions and the posts, and to, check out My ASQ regularly instead of going to a web page which we used to have. My ASQ is a measurement of how healthy our division is. So the PEP, or the Performance Excellence Program, one of the key metrics is engagement within My ASQ. So I'd encourage all of our members, and if anybody that's on this call has probably seen a message from me, because I regularly promote events within My ASQ, and sometimes I might appear to spam you. It's not intentional, and if you want to reply to me individually, I'll be glad to reply back to you, and I send a welcome letter to every new member. There's over 8,000 messages that I've sent out, or our group has sent out, to new members within My ASQ in the past year. And that's quite a bit of communications that we try to use My ASQ as one of the primary ways to communicate with our members. And most of you on the call have learned about this event because it was not made public It was made through my ASQ. And the my ASQ Lean Enterprise Division community is to promote key events, webinars, and other initiatives, and news from the chair, news about speakers, news about initiatives, news about things that we're doing. And there's a URL that you can get to it fairly easily. Go into technical communities when you're in my ASQ and search down for Lean Enterprise Division, and make sure that you let us know, enter discussions within my ASQ. One of the other groups that we have is the ASQ Lean Enterprise Division LinkedIn group. And understand that this group is not open only to ASQ members, so this is a broader audience. So this is a way that we can reach out to those members who are not within my ASQ and who may not even be a member of ASQ, to communicate with them, to maybe invite them to become members or more active within ASQ, and especially the Lean Enterprise Division. In the Lean Enterprise Division LinkedIn group, we have announcements, events, and lean discussions. And right now we have 1,228 members, and that's as of last night. That's up 130% year over year. So we had much less than half of that number at this time last year when we had our annual meeting. We have a goal to reach 2,500 members in our ASQ Lean Enterprise Division LinkedIn group by the 28th of February of 2022. So we would like to be able to say that we have 2,500 members when we go to the ASQ Lean Enterprise, or excuse me, Lean and Six Sigma conference in Phoenix in February. And that's an informal goal that we set. And we think it's reachable because each one of our 1,228 members of the LinkedIn group can actually reach out and invite other connections that they have, whether they're members of ASQ or not. And we think that if each one of our members invites maybe 10 members that are friends of theirs, and a couple of those join the LinkedIn group, and then maybe join ASQ and maybe join the LinkedIn division and participate in discussions, join our webinars, and contribute, we will add extra value to all of our members, including those outside of ASQ, and especially those within the Lean Enterprise Division. The third social media venue is the ASQ Twitter account. That's stayed fairly flat with 3,238 followers. So we may follow 3 times that amount of people, but people that have actually followed us on Twitter are 3,238. And there's the Twitter account is at ASQ LED. That has been active since June of 2011. So we've had that for just about 20 years. And that's our Twitter handle. So if you post something about lean anywhere in your personal account in Twitter and you want to end up sharing it with us, just use the handle at asq.led or maybe tag it with that. And I think that we will continue to grow through social media, and this is more and more important as we break away from in-person meetings. Next slide, please, Lindsay. And I'm not sure whether Patrick is on. So Patrick, if you're on, you can take over and talk about our member value survey. Otherwise, I'll wing it.
Sure, Dave, I'm here. Just audio check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Terrific. Thank you. And just a brief overview to the group on our member value survey. So this year we launched at this time of the year, third quarter, really fourth quarter, our member value survey. We wanted to wait and allow the ASQE organizations to settle and give time for that structure to set in so that we can capture feedback from the membership in the LED community and include that in the feedback. We also included in this year's survey input on willingness and the ability of participants to respond to potential in-person meetings and conferences, either virtually or in person. So that has also been included in the survey to bring it up to date and reflect what's actually going on in the world around us and in the world that we're living in during a COVID and post-COVID environment. So that said, while you're reading the information on the screen, and I won't drain this slide, I will just say that we did send out roughly 3,400 member surveys. We were able to get some diversity in the sample selection and survey over 80 countries, total of 86 countries. So far, 79 have been completed, 150 surveys have been started. The reminders tend to see a tick-up rate of about 40%, but we also see a loss of about 37 to 40% as the week wanes and the survey responses wane. We're also making sure that we send those surveys out at times, different times, so that we can accommodate different time zones in different countries. So we wanted to just provide a brief update on how expansive we're trying to gain feedback. If you do receive one of these surveys or receive the survey, please take a few moments, respond. Your input is extremely valuable. We really need it, and we really want to hear from you and use that input to help improve the value of the services that are being provided to you, our members, and to the extended membership team. So please take a moment, fill that out, send it in. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes if you're focused, and we will use that input to help better provide value add to what already exists and see where we can find additional value to add it to the membership. So thanks to everyone that has completed, and to those who do receive it, please provide your input. That's all I have for this update, and I'll hand it back to the chair.
Perfect. Thank you, Patrick. And then standard chair update, Lance.
Good morning, everyone. Lance Coleman here. I am currently the immediate past division chair, but looking forward next year to taking over as standards committee chair. I included this mission statement because standards committee chair is not a common position across the ASQ divisions. But in short, our purpose is to work with other member leaders of the division to identify and standardize best practices with the goal of having more efficient operations so that we can better provide value to our members, and also allow for a smoother transition from one member leader group to another as new member leaders come into the fold. Could you advance the slide, please, Lindsay? Our goal for 2022 are to continue and expand upon the efforts that were initiated in 2021. So for Q1, our goal is to have a more formalized and standardized onboarding process for new member leaders. Moving into Q2, we want to develop a value stream map of LED operations, again, with the goal of becoming more efficient and providing a greater understanding of the organization for new member leaders who come in, or for members who may just have questions about the organization as a whole. Moving into Q3, we want to ensure that there are updated job descriptions for various member leader roles and responsibilities. And then finally, drilling down to even greater level of detail, creating task-specific standard work over routine but critical tasks that different members of leadership are responsible for throughout the year. Any questions on any of that? If not, I will pass it back to the chair and put myself on mute so you don't hear my puppy barking in the background. Thank you all.
Perfect. Thank you, Lance. So then the last section is about our financials. So going into our financials this year, so our initial approved budget was $15,600. that came from not having as much travel planned for this year since all of the events are virtual. So we're actually about half of that for actual expenses. And that's because, like I said, a lot of the travel that we initially had planned for TCC meetings and the various conferences were canceled. So all the fees are really with resources like GoToWebinar, and then our partner payment / joint venture. So pretty lean year, but looking into next year, we're a little bit more hopeful. So we are expecting to travel a little bit more, or significantly more. You know, I think we all want to leave our house a little bit, right? But at the same time, I think, you know, getting back to supporting some of these in-person meetings, with Lean and Six Sigma being in person, Lean Six Sigma gives us a chance to not only interact with all the folks who, you know, go to the conference. It also gives us an opportunity to look for webinar presenters, authors for our e-zine, and kind of continue building out some of our educational activities, supporting the USC Supply Chain Excellence Summit, and then having our first in-person strategic planning meeting since 2019. I think that's going to be really critical because we're going to be shaping, you know, the next few years within the division at that meeting. So I think that's going to be really critical. But just as a note, this is the initial budget that was submitted. We are still going through the approval process for that. So the final business plan for next year may look a little bit different. And with that, you know, please get involved. We're looking for the 2022 e-zine editor, more reviewers or authors, webinar, presenters, standards, networking, pretty much you name it. If you're interested in joining our leadership team, you know, please, you know, don't hesitate to reach out. I included my email earlier in the presentation, and more than happy to connect you with the right folks on the call. So you can also connect with us via my ASQ. You know, Dave's on there. He has the most number of points, I think, throughout all of ASQ, which is really impressive. So we're very lucky to have Dave on our leadership team because he's really the my ASQ whiz. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And with that, I just want to thank everyone. Like I said, these slides will be available online. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, you know, please don't hesitate to use the chat box. Frank, there was one question that came through that I was hoping maybe you could comment on. So the question was, Lean 4.0 sounds like consultant marketing. Most people still don't understand the basics. I don't know if you have anything, you know, to comment about that.
Sure, and certainly understand where they're coming from. There is a larger ASQ initiative called Quality 4.0, and so this is just our way of collaborating with that initiative. It's not intended to spin anything, and I certainly agree with you know, the fundamental basic principles of Lean. We can't lose sight of those things, but there are interesting twists, and when you couple Lean thinking and Lean principles with the technology that's emerging, and certainly in manufacturing, for instance, as you go to a more cell-based process for operations, a lot of the ERP systems struggle with that, and their underlying model is much more batch oriented, not so much one piece flow. So there's some interesting wrinkles that I think Lean can provide and help contribute as this new technology becomes more and more pervasive throughout whether you're talking about healthcare, academics, distribution, whatever context you're talking. But I'd encourage more dialogue in this and encourage people to continue to debate it as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank. And then another question just came through, and it's a long one, so sorry, folks. The biggest problem I see per student ASQ membership is the ambiguous information that they are getting at the source from the universities that they are receiving. For example, in Montreal, Consortia, sorry if that's your university, university teaches Six Sigma Green Belt using the book from the Council of Six Sigma and is encouraged to write their exam. At McGill, it's more germane and offers teaching from IASSC and GSSGB. So many students see so many different accreditation sources that the Green Belt is a cost factor. Will you reduce the ASQ Green Belt exam fees? Also, why should students pursue ASQ if the books are taught from different accreditation associations outside of from ASQ? So at least in regards to the exam fee, that's not something that we, the division, can influence. That's under the new ASQE organization. So we don't have any influence on that, but we can definitely take that feedback back to headquarters. In regards to why should students pursue ASQ if the books are taught from different accreditation associations outside from ASQ? I joined ASQ as a student member, and team, please feel free to interrupt me. Joining ASQ as a student member really opened up, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. It really opened up, different areas of different specialties, right, within quality that I wasn't aware of. I studied engineering in college. I didn't know what auditing was. I didn't know, kind of the vast scope of quality. So I think ASQ as a student member, and back in the day, it was only like $27 for a year. It might be up to $29, but that's, for a year membership, not very much at all. And I think also like the networking opportunities, the leadership opportunities directly outside, like when you leave college, but then also the community too, right? I think getting an opportunity to network with different quality professionals that live in your area through the sections, different quality professionals worldwide through the divisions, I think has been very important for me. Without ASQ, I moved around a lot with my company directly after college, and ASQ always gave me a kind of foundational group. I knew, the divisions were meeting, the first Tuesday of every month at this time at this place, and it gave me a chance to kind of get to know folks personally and professionally, right? So I think it's, it's not just about the certifications for me within ASQ, though the certifications are also nice. I think there's a lot of other networking, and development opportunities within ASQ. So I don't know if anybody else, has anything they want to say about students joining ASQ.
Hi, Lindsay. This is Lance. I would just like to add that when you join ASQ, you have access to just a broad range of specialties. So not just manufacturing, but service, government as well. As far as speaking about Greenbelt, I've always found value in studying from more than one source, and then, triangulating that information and forming my own philosophy based on those foundations. So just because you're taught one methodology in college, that doesn't mean that there's not value in other similar certifications. And lastly, I would say that Greenbelt is just one of many ASQ certifications, and they really work well together. And what I mean by that is certain aspects of Greenbelt overlap with aspects of the Certified Quality Engineer certification, or even the Certified Quality Auditor certification. So you can leverage the knowledge learned in one certification to acquire another as you seek to expand your skill set. So it's, when you think about the value of ASQ, it's really not around one particular thing. It's about the whole experience and the whole benefit of immersion and being engaged with ASQ.
Thank you, Lance. And then Frank, I think you were going to say something.
Actually, David Hicks would like to say something.
Let me see if I can unmute you.
David, I
Can
just
y'all hear me
unmuted.
now?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Oh, thank you. That was initially my request to be unmuted when you said hello at the beginning. So I didn't have any particular topic right now.
Okay, I thought because actually David Hicks is involved with Auburn, and I thought you might have some comments with regard to students, but you know,
Well,
Auburn
is like a lot of universities. Is the engineering school emphasizes a different thing than the business school, et cetera. So you do get a lot of variation in what the students are exposed to. I understand some of the concern about, one university emphasizes the other thing. One may emphasize ASQ. We promote ASQ at Auburn, but I think it's really up to us in ASQ to reach out to those students, as opposed to trying to manipulate the universities into doing something our way. Is why don't we just offer that opportunity to the students as we engage them, and things like the discount for the conferences and stuff like that, I think is a good opportunity.
and I would add as well, this is becoming a point of emphasis for the society, because there is a very, very active next generation committee headed by Jamie Kovach that is looking at a wide variety of different aspects, not only pricing for conferences, for membership, but also things like mentorship and developing mentorship programs for those that are just coming into the field. And the other thing ASQE is doing is going through their accreditation process from the international standards approach. So there are a lot of different certification agencies out there, but very few have the accreditation that ASQ has, or their certifications. And they're actually going through an audit accreditation audit next month, which Michael Burns is eagerly awaiting. But these are all very, very important questions that we need to consider society-wide as well as a division. How can we connect better with students? So we're working on it.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank. And then the last question that I see is, how is LAD integrating Agile in the Lean context? Frank, I think this might be a you question.
Well, don't get me started. No, it's a great opportunity. I think April mentioned that we had a joint virtual tour of Menlo Innovations, and of course that's where I personally got exposed to Agile and the application of Lean in this software development. And it's actually been part of Lean Enterprise Division ever since I invited Rich Sheraton to speak at the Lean and Six Sigma conference several years ago, because it was kind of eye-opening for many of the traditional Lean practitioners to see various ways that Lean principles are implemented through Agile. So a very important facet of Lean applications, and not only software development, but also if you take those Agile principles into product development in general. It's very interesting, and I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done in it. And if people want to contribute to it, again, there are many opportunities that this division offers to share experiences and to create dialogue around these topics.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank. And with that, that is all the questions that I see. So please, don't hesitate to reach out if you, via my ASQ or via some of our emails, if you have any other questions.